The head coach of Team India, has although taken blame of the loss that we have seen 2-0 whitewash, but he has also said that it is a collective failure. So this seems to be a huge crisis for the Team India right now, and it seems that the head coach has seemingly passed the buck after the series whitewash of 2-0 of Team India by South Africa. Now, he says that the blame lies with everyone and me as well. So the question is of the test team. And joining us live now is India Today's Nikhil Naz. Nikhil, this is one of the most crushing defeats as far as test cricket is concerned for Team India. And of course, it has put an unforgiving glare and spotlight on the Gambhir era and Gambhir's head coach position. Do tell us what you think about this entire fiasco.
Well, I, would have no other words than to describe what the current situation that the Indian team find themselves in as probably the lowest point in Indian cricket. And why is it that I say that? Because in the history of Indian cricket, you haven't had complete whitewashes, and now you've had two in a row in the last 12 months. So I don't think Indian Test cricket has ever gone through a worse phase than the one that we're witnessing at the moment. Coincidentally, it coincides with the tenure of Gautam Gambhir as the coach of the Indian team. Of course, the two series defeats at home that I'm talking about, whitewashes at that, had two different captains. Rohit Sharma when India lost to New Zealand, and now you had a combination of Shubman Gill and Rishabh Pant in this particular series. But the fact of the matter is that something really needs to be done. Some drastic steps will have to be taken to course correct. Of course, we heard from the coach come out in the press conference and say that, listen, you have to give them time. This is a team in transition. However, if you look much closely, two things that really stand out when you look at the transition argument. One, when I was taking a look at the total number of test matches put together by this Indian team vis-a-vis the South African team that they've lost to, the Indian team seem to have more experience there. So again, that transition argument, does it hold water here? Not quite. The other thing that comes to your mind is that there have been transitions in Indian cricket in the past as well. Yet you've never had a situation where you've been whitewashed at home. In fact, that was the one thing that used to be very proud of. Indian teams in the past would sometimes struggle in alien conditions, in foreign conditions, but you had a fortress at home that no one could really breach. So much so that famous Australian captain Steve Waugh once said that this is the final frontier. That's how tough it used to be. We've just heard from Kevin Peterson, another stalwart of the game,